right? You've got $5,000 being paid into your bank account every single month without doing anything. Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Not a Forex trader. My name is Lake, and today I want to compare 3 different EAs at 3 different price points and try and figure out, do you get a better product when you spend more money? Does an expensive EA translate to more profit over time? That is what we are going to figure out in this video. This is my server. It is based in Germany, so things might be a bit laggy because I need to remote desktop into my server. We'll start off with a free EA. Full disclosure, everything I'll be demonstrating today will be on demo accounts. This EA was published on MQL5. I'll leave the link down below for you guys to check it out. You can download it for free. The author was kind enough to leave the source code. You can actually go ahead and make changes to the EA, to the trade logic, and a whole bunch of other things you can improve on it. A lot of the times when the authors do publish their EAs for free and have the source code available is because they don't know how to finish up the project, or they might have run into some problems with trade logics contradicting one another. So I'm not too sure what the whole story is behind this EA, but I do know that it is a grid EA. It's for MetaTrader 4. He basically provided some of the inputs that you can change, and some people have been trying it out, having a couple of mixed reviews. Here we have someone who tried changing some of the settings. However, here we have one comment stating that running for 2 weeks on demo with excellent results, balance $1,000 with 30% drawdown and gets roughly around 7% return every day on average. I've been doing a bit of testing with it. I have run this backtest from the beginning of January this year, so 2024. And basically, because it is a grid EA, we have this, right? So our balance was going up really nicely. From 10,000, we went up to almost, what is this amount? Roughly around 66% increase, but then it has this big dip. So because the equity was always running in a negative. So how a grid EA works, this one is based on the RSI. So let's say price has gone up, it's exceeded the 70 and it crosses down, a trade will open, the trade logic. Now, if the trade is wrong, so let's say price still continues to go up and it opened a sell trade, it'll keep opening sell trades until price goes down. But if price trends and doesn't go down in, I don't know, like a month, you can end up with a lot of positions in a negative, basically bringing your balance down. I have done so many tests just to get it from not crashing, because it'll always end up down at 0. Eventually, it'll creep up and just go down to 0. So this is the free EA. This doesn't cost you any money. Yes, you can put in actual money here. Technically, you would have made profit because from the beginning of the year till right now, our profit is 1,654. So that would be, so we would have 16% profit, but 16% over, let's say, a period of 6 months isn't what a lot of people would find desirable. And then we also had quite a large drawdown. So we had 48% drawdown, which is, I'm pretty sure it's that over there. So this would have been 45% drawdown. So this would have been a very anxiety-inducing process. Can we use this on a prop firm? Definitely not. Drawdown is way too high. It seems to open a lot of trades. A prop trading company might see this as a high frequency trading strategy. So your account might be flagged. Even if you get through the challenge phase, let's say this period over here, you got through the challenge phase, they might be reluctant to give you an account because they will realize that your strategy is grid and grid has its own risk. It's not the same as martingale, but has the same inherent risk as martingale. that your account would inevitably become zero. Keep that in mind with this current EA. It needs work, which I'll be attempting in the background just to figure it out, just to see if I can get it to be profitable, maybe have a bit better risk management strategies. I have tested on, I think, GBP USD. It seems to work with most currency pairs. However, it does do this quite often. It does run out of money at some point. So you'll have a bit of growth, but eventually this happens, unfortunately. Now I'd like to move on to paid EAs. I'm going to move on to the high price point. And the high price point is one of these EAs. And I need to disclose something because these EAs, so this is the one that I ended up looking at. This one costs $600. However, I managed to get it for free, not from the author. And out of respect for the author, I'm not going to make this available to you guys, because it's not my product to give away. So I have managed to get it for free. I know a lot of people in this space and we do share information. So I do have this EA that I'm currently running, and I'll also not be doing any live accounts. I'll only be testing it on demo. But for this demonstration, I do have this EA. You can get the free demo, which basically only allows you to do back testing. You can't run the EA. In order to run it, you have to buy it, and in order to buy it you have to spend $600 or $599. Let's have a look at this. So this is the EA. I do have it running at the moment over here. This is a demo account. I have back tested it over here, so basically where you get it officially from the author, and I have back tested this current version and they are identical. This is the back test. So I've tested this here from January. It's not from January 1st. I don't have all of the data available for it to do that. So it's end of January. So we can say there is 1 month that it hasn't been able to represent to us on the back test. But this looks certainly a lot better than this because it's not going all the way down. It's quite choppy. It does generate money. I just quickly want to have a look at the report. So we made roughly 3,500, so 35% in a period of 5 months. But we had a reasonable drawdown. So our drawdown was 21%, which is relatively good. Our modeling quality over here for some reason isn't 90%. Now we can get it to go higher by using something called Tick Data Suite, but it costs money. It costs 30 euros every month. So I'm not going to do that, and I can't use the free trial on my server. It detects virtual computers. So this isn't going to work, unfortunately, on the server right now. However, I don't think that's really going to affect our results because we're not scalping. We're not chasing tiny pips. These are not scalp EAs. They're not spread sensitive. So if you may have a higher spread, so instead of having one pip spread, you have a 10 pip spread. If you're making 100 pips in every trade, it's just going to be a 10% discrepancy. You're not going to have a difference between a profitable system and a losing system. The modeling quality isn't up to scratch, so I will say that the results can be slightly different. This is the author. So this is his live trading account. The Gold Reaper Live default settings, which is currently what I'm testing it on. Where is it? Over here. So this is basically what I've been testing it on the default settings. And you can see he made 34% in 17 weeks, which is roughly 4 months. So 4 months and I don't know, one week. 34% works out to roughly 8.5% every month. But fortunately, we are on MQL5, so it does show us everything here. Starting February, he made 10%. In March, he made 5%. In April, he made 19%. In May, took a small loss, which is perfectly reasonable. Okay, these things happen. I hate it when people think this is a problem. This is perfectly reasonable. In June, well, we're just 3 days in June, so it's not going to really show us any feasible information. So this is his EA. He had a maximum drawdown of 4.7%, which lets me think he might have it on a less aggressive setting because our result shows 20% drawdown. Are you going to do this with a $100 account? Probably not, because $100 in 4 months is just going to be $130 because it only had a 30% growth. So it's not a lot of money. However, we need to take into consideration that with Forex trading, you're not going to make a lot of money with a low risk strategy. That's why you take these strategies and you apply them. Either if you have a lot of money in the bank, you'll put a lot of money in your account in order to have it worthwhile, or you go to a prop trading firm. This would definitely work for a prop trading firm because February, March, April, you would make a lot of money. Considering if you have a $100,000 account, 10% on a $100,000 account is $10,000, right? So you pay the prop firm whatever their cut is, they'll deduct that, which is normally 20%. You'll get paid out $8,000 for that month. Let's just round this up. March 5.9, so let's just say 6%. That would be $6,000, 4,800. So that's what you would be getting. 1,200 would then go to the prop firm as their cut. So this is what you would get at the end of that month, $4,800. And then this month in April, let's just round it to an easy number, 20,000 minus 20%, $16,000 would be paid into your bank account using the strategy, which is really good. This month would be no money at all. You wouldn't have any money, but then in June you would make up for that. Can you use this for a prop account? Yes, you can. Is it worth $600? Yeah, well, to the right person, it most certainly is worth $600. If you are making $2,000 a month with this system, $600 is a no-brainer. But if you want to use this EA and you want to start off with a $100 account, it's not going to be worth it. You're probably only going to see your return in 5 years. You're only going to see your $600 return in 5 years, which isn't practical. So this is our high price point EA. My results, at least from the testing, are slightly different. So it could be the modeling quality, which isn't 100%. It does take a very long time to backtest this EA because there's so much stuff that it needs to take into consideration. All of these lines on the chart, there is logic behind that, and basically causes this to take a long time to test because it's trying to filter through all of that information. So this EA, I would say it depends. It depends. If you have the money to buy this and the money to invest in a prop account, this would make a lot of sense because you could be earning a lot of money every month. So trading should be handled as a business. It shouldn't be a get rich quick sort of approach. Now I want to go to the middle of the range.
Armed.
This is what our results look like. I'm going to do a lot of comparison between this and this because these are the only two that are actually making any money, whereas this one needs a bit of work, unfortunately. This is my EA for just the sake of consistency. I have tested them on the same time frame. I was going to do all of them for a longer time frame, so do at least 12 months or whatever the case may be. This one could only backtest from this time frame. Please keep in mind this is the unofficial version, so the terminal is essentially compromised. It can't update and all of that, so I think that's why I'm seeing limited information. This is available right now for the very high price of $5. It's not going to be this price forever. I'm just basically trying to figure out which currency pairs do the best. This has been tested on Euro USD from this time frame, so it's roughly 6 months of data, and immediately we can tell this is, so you've doubled your money in that time frame. It does do compounding, so the more money it makes, the more it'll snowball. So every backtest chart grows exponentially instead of the linear approach. This is what you would consider linear, so it just goes in a straight line, whereas compounding allows you to grow exponentially. So it's basically like a parabolic curve. It basically uses the following indicators: the moving average, RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, and stochastic. But currently we aren't using Bollinger Bands for this kind of strategy because according to my optimizations, this is how I get my settings. I optimize them. It takes a couple of days of testing tens of thousands of variations and basically gives me the best strategy. It takes a lot of time and you need a good EA to start off with. And this is something I'll be doing with the free grid EA that I have downloaded. So I'll see if I can find any strategies that actually work using this EA. What I want to point out is that our drawdown has peaked at 15% in the past 12 months. It might be relative, so it might be a tiny bit more, tiny bit less. I am testing it right now, as you can see on the chart. All of these are sell trades, but they have been opened at very different times. Every time the indicators agree and say, okay, it's time to sell, it'll open sell positions, and vice versa when it has to buy. So these are all of our trades that are currently floating right now, but this is running in the background in order to reduce our drawdown and make sure that this is good for a prop firm. We're going to change this to 0.2 and we'll just quickly run the test again. Okay, so here we have our report, and now our drawdown is at 6% or 5.44. So at this current setting, instead of using 0.5 at 0.2%, we do have less profit. We only made 38% in 6 months, whereas this one has made a little bit under. Okay, so it's made 35%. We're still ahead of the expensive price point EA, but the problem with the expensive one is that even at this current setting, its drawdown is at 20%. So we're making more money with a quarter of the drawdown. Now, like I've said, the modeling quality can give us some discrepancies, so everything shouldn't be based off of the back testing. That's why you need to forward test as well. Let's go back to this one, backtest quite quickly. So let's just go to, I don't know, let's just quickly do this backtest. So now we are at our prop firm setting. So if you had it running for the past, I don't know what, 2.5 years, at the current settings, you'll see consistent growth. It will eventually become a parabolic curve because it compounds. The more money you have, the more money you make at the end of the day. So this is our current curve. You can actually see the growth at this end is a lot more upwards as opposed to in the beginning. That's just because of compounding. Let's have a look. Our drawdown was 5.4 or 7.9%. If it happened in a day, that would have been a problem. I will be including a daily stop loss logic into the EA just to make sure that this wouldn't have been a problem, because it'll just stop out at say -4% and it'll start trading tomorrow again and hopefully make up for those losses, or we just end up with a month in a loss, which is, like I've said, it is a common thing. As long as you have more months where you make money. So let's say in a year, you have 2 months where you didn't make money, but every time you make money, you are covered for 3 months. That is kind of my approach to trading, is if I make money in 1 month, I try and make enough money so that I'm covered for 3 months. And then when I make money the next month, now I'm covered for 6 months in advance, and have different strategies. You don't put all of your eggs in one basket. This is our backtest for 2.5 years. It's been optimized since 2020. So if you go further back to 2019 or 2016, that's when you actually have a lot more losses. The reason why I don't go back that far is because there were so many different economic conditions that we don't need to consider right now. And then if we just go ahead and do some rudimentary calculations over here, we've got 22,000. So this is a 220% increase in 30 months. Let's say 220 divided by 30, that'll give us roughly 7.33% every month. This would be the average, including losing months. So if you have a $100,000 account from a prop firm, you would be expecting to have an income of at least $5,000 every single month without thinking, right? You've got $5,000 being paid into your bank account every single month without doing anything. Any changes, any thinking work is what I do. I have to sit and optimize, I have to sit and improve and make sure that we have a very good risk to reward ratio. This technically isn't going to be 7% every single month. You're going to have a month where, let's say, you lose 4%, and then another month where you make 18%, but then we we take the average and have 7.33% for the past 30 months. And I don't know about you, but $5,000 is plenty for me. This is kind of the strategy that I am implementing. Now, yes, I am doing forward testing. I am also testing on FTMO, but it's very consistent to what I expect. And that's why I have it available for you guys to do your own testing and let me know if you like it or not. There will be a lot of changes coming to it, not changes in the logic, but just a bit more user friendliness. For example, the daily stop loss, so that if you are using this in a prop firm, and your prop firm says you can't lose more than 3% a day, you can change that. And so you can say, okay, it can't exceed 3% or it can't exceed 5%, because then it needs to stop out in order to protect the account so that you don't end up losing your account due to a freak news event that no one could anticipate. So yeah, we have our 3 different price point EAs. We have free that kind of does this, and this is best case scenario because I had to cherry pick these trades. I went through a lot of currency pairs until I found something that doesn't just crash straight away. Our middle price point EA, and this is our high price point EA. It's up to you what you think is better for you. If you are a prop trader, if you have no idea what the hell prop trading is about, this video isn't for you. But if you like to get into prop trading, I would recommend doing a lot of research. The reason why I look at automated systems for trading is because it removes the trade psychology aspect from trading. And the reason why most people lose money that do manual trading is because they do not practice good trade psychology. You would lose a trade and you'd lose 5 trades, and eventually you'd start revenge trading, which is dangerous. You're in a negative state of mind because you're just losing a lot of trades and you think there's something wrong with your strategy and you keep jumping around strategies. That's what the binary options people do. We as Forex traders don't do that. We stick to our strategy and we make money over time. I know a lot of Forex trading is intimidating because you might not have the money to realistically trade Forex. That is why prop firms exist. With prop firms, you can take majority of the money that you have made and you can reinvest it into your own account where you don't have to follow their rules, and you can have a 20% drawdown and start raking in some serious money. I hope you found this video informative. If you want to try out any of these EAs, all of the links are in the description, and any support from you guys are highly appreciated. I put out these videos to be informative and helpful, and if you want to support me, I do have my EA link down below. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.